Howdy, everybody. It's your pal Misty. Sit back, relax. Oh, and let me get my microphone. Sorry about that. Howdy, everybody. It's your pal Misty. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. It is time for your Monday night live stream. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how long I'm going to last. I don't know exactly what all I'm going to talk about, but I wanted to keep my Monday night live stream because I said it was one of the things I was going to try to be disciplined in doing. And even though it fell on today, I figured it was a good reason to have a live stream. So tonight we're going to be talking about a couple of things, including my daddy. So, hello, Cheryl. Thank you for being here. Hello, Mary. Hello, Mama. Yes, thank you, Mom. The dogs have given me lots of hugs. Hey, Gina. Thanks for being here, Gina. I appreciate it. Hey, Camille. It's past your bedtime, but I appreciate you being here. Uh, so update from last week is I got sicker. I didn't get better. I got sicker and ended up with bronchitis. So they're actually treating it as pneumonia because it's pretty bad bronchitis. But I wasn't running a fever, so he didn't think it was to the pneumonia phase yet. But anyway, I got sicker on, I think it was like Wednesday. It went in my chest, and then I was real busy, and I started taking some over the counter medicine, and it was masking the symptoms. So I felt better than I had, but I still every day felt a little bit worse. So Saturday afternoon after like a 3 hour nap because I was too tired to go to the doctor. I went and talked to the doctor. So uh, I'm on fun medicine. I forget, man. Albuterol really does open up your lungs, boy. It's like, oh, I can take a deep breath and it doesn't hurt. I think I accidentally screamed to Mary yesterday after I used my inhaler after her after our walk. Oh, thanks, Mary. Mary says I sound worse than this weekend. That's fun. Thanks, I appreciate that. I know you don't. Today is the first day that I don't feel worse. So I'm gonna say that means that we're on the upswing. I'm on Tonight will be my third dose of the antibiotic. I'm on a cough medicine, the albuterol. Oh, and I got back on my Zoloft, which is my anti-depression, anti-anxiety. It kind of helps with the OCD. It helped with a whole bunch of things, and so we're back on it because I need it because I've been on the struggle bus. I was telling y'all the truth about it. I was on the struggle bus for a number of reasons. And so the meds helped before, even though they kind of muted the highs, they also muted the lows. And we can't even get to the highs all the time right now. Sometimes, but it's hard. You got to really push. I'm just want a little help. So we got back on those meds too. Yes, I'm on the Z pack. That's exactly what they put me on. Zithromycin. Zithromycin. It starts with an A, but they call it a Z pack. I guess because the second letter is a Z. But yeah, I'm on that. Albuterol. I forget what cough medicine. It's a pill. It's not a liquid. Anyway, I get real winded. So, and if I make myself laugh, I'm probably gonna cough. I'm gonna try to mute y'all if that happens, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Oh, Sherry is here. Hey, Sherry. It'll kick my butt. How will it kick my butt? Man, it makes me feel like I ran a marathon, but one that I can breathe during. You usually lose your voice. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. I'm coming with my sexy voice again for y'all today. You're welcome. Your pal Misty and her sexy voice. When I used to take phone calls, it used to, well, first of all, I used to be sick all the time. It took me a couple of days. I think I told y'all last week to even like admit out loud that I was sick, and that was only because I had actually spoken to Amy, and she's like, "How long have you been sick?" I was like, "You know I'm sick." Oh, it was actually kind of funny because then she had surgery. She's doing really well, by the way. But then I talked to her the other day, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're sick again." I was like, "Again, girl, I never got, I never got no better." This fake fall. It's been in the 90s again this past couple of days. It was like Texas went, "Hey, you want to feel what fall feels like? You want to get real sick from that?" It's fine. I don't complain. Don't complain about it, Mister. You're fine. I'm sick, Mama. Can I come sit by you? I want to come sit by you, Mama. I'm gonna come sit by you and tell you that I don't feel good because I just don't feel good, guys. But that's the truth. I mean, I still went to boot camp this morning. I stayed for the whole hour. I didn't make it 45 seconds on all the exercises. Some of them I was just like, man, I'm done. And I'm going to rest until the next one. But I mean, I was there and I moved, and the movement really does help. Even yesterday, at one point, I was like, I'm real tired. I'm going to go for a walk. It feels so counterintuitive. Like, girl, you just said you were tired. You gonna get up and go for a walk? I did. It helped. I wasn't as tired anymore. But then I got tired again, and then I was like, "Now I'm too tired to walk. I'll just lay here." Uh, Hello, Jen. Welcome. Welcome back to the live streams. Oh, but it also stimulates my heart. That's probably why it makes me feel like I've run a marathon. I've only used it a couple of times. I used it after my walk with Mary. I used it at one point yesterday afternoon. I don't remember exactly when. But I had a bad coughing spell and couldn't breathe. And then I used it this morning after workout. I was having trouble catching my breath. I was having trouble recovering it. So I used it and it helped. But yeah, it does make me feel like I run a marathon. Maybe that's because it's pumping my heart up. Anyway, it works. I can breathe and that feels nice. And I coughed and it didn't hurt. Like it didn't feel like somebody was just gonna like jab me in the side anymore. So oh yeah, I've been on albuterol before. Well, I actually switched to something else, which I don't remember now what it was called because it didn't affect me as much as albuterol when I was on it when I was doing a nebulizer like 3 times a day. I want to say it started with an X. Mama, do you remember the name of that medicine by any chance? Or you may know it, Camille. I don't know. But yeah, I used to have another type of medicine that I took. Anyway, so I'm on all my medicines now. I'm taking them, and hopefully we'll feel better soon. But today's not the today. We don't feel worse, and I'm here for that. I'm here for not feeling worse. So tonight, I thought what I would talk about is my daddy because a year ago today, my dad passed away. And it happened pretty quick for me. I didn't know he was as sick as he was, and so uh, by the time I got to Dallas, it was just a couple of days, uh, and he was gone. So it's been I don't know what all I'm about to talk about. So get ready, guys. I don't know if I'm going to talk a lot or not a lot, or if I'm going to cry or laugh or both. I don't know. So just buckle in. We're just going to talk for a minute. Y'all got any questions, by the way? If y'all have any questions about my daddy, feel free to ask any questions. I'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of chat for a minute. So, it's been a weird year because, I mean, it's not like we had the relationship where we talked every day because we didn't. But do y'all know those relationships where you talk at the perfect time? And that's kind of always what it was I don't know if he felt that way. He had said something to that effect, but like I always know when to message him. But he always knew when to message me, and he always knew when how to message me, I should say, because sometimes he'd be really annoying, and I love that. Sometimes he'd just be really sweet, and I love that. And sometimes he'd just be really random, and I love that too. So it's not that it's it's one of the I'm sure y'all can all understand, but I'm just talking for me, right? So for me, it's the difference of not being able to have that communication in that way. That at first made it so hard because I could have still messaged him, but I mean I don't want to do that to my stepmom and have her have messages come up on his phone and stuff like that, you know. Um, and they talk about the stages of grief. I don't know what they are. I know the first one's like denial. I definitely kind of did that for a minute. Just not so much. The thing with denial is like, I mean, it happened. It just, how could that have happened? Like I was there, I saw it. I was there when he took his last breath. I watched it. How did that happen? You go through that, right? And then you go through the angry. I went through the angry for a real long time, I think. Well, I went through the nothing phase for a real long time where I just was nothing. It wasn't that I wanted to die. I just didn't understand what being here. It was so different that my brain couldn't understand how to cope with that. So that's when we got on medicine the first time because I was having trouble coping with that. And I, I think my problem, anger is not one of my favorite emotions because it's real angry. And that is very counterintuitive to the feelings that I try to have. I get really angry at myself, and I think I know how that feels, and so I don't wanna make other people feel that way. And I used to be really tough and cruel, even, like, at work, and now I, you know, attract more flies with honey. Um, Bring them over to your side because I think you're sweet, and they'll do stuff to help you out. Uh, but I didn't used to always be like that, and I think anger is a hard emotion for me. And I remember at one point I was chatting with Kirsten, and she said I had actually called her like on the phone, like I was physically talking to her. Normally, when I say I'm chatting with someone, I'm literally just messaging them. Uh, but I remember because I can hear her saying, uh, "You get to be mad at your dad. Like that's fair. You get to do that if you want." Whether it's right or wrong or right. And like that's sort of what I needed was to be mad at him for a minute because he died on me. Stupid old man. um so what was weird though was, and I was sharing this with him this last weekend, because Kirsten and I have kind of been talking because she just lost her mom a few weeks ago. And uh, I was telling her that remembered when she told me that, and that it really helped to get to be angry with him too. But then what I found was that switched pretty quickly to being angry at God. And then I really didn't like that. I really didn't want to be angry at God. I knew it wasn't his fault. I knew it was nobody's fault. It's just that's what happens. And I remember just doing it anyway because I didn't know what else to do. So it's funny to me because I don't know. I don't know how you feel, what you believe, whatever. That's for you, right? But I think God is funny. I don't know about your God, but my God is funny sometimes. Maybe that's just the way that I interact with him. I don't know. But I remember I had a moment where I got real mad at him. And I had this moment where it's almost like he kind of pulled up right beside me. And he's like, man, sucks. You deserve to be mad. Be real big mad. I can take it. Because he can take it. And so I was a big mad. And then it got to be kind of funny. Because it does suck. And it does feel unfair. But it is kind of a blessing. And it's not a bad thing in the end. And now I can message him all the time. I was telling him today that's people have said things to me after my dad passed that just made me irrationally angry about, like, he'll be the wind beneath your wings and he'll be there to support you. And I'm like, I don't know. My mom had asked if I get signs from him. I'm like, I don't know. I talk to him so often. He probably wishes I'd shut up so he could tell me something for me. But it's like, for me, in a weird way, it kind of opened the communication gate because now he's free all the time, which is a blessing. But he doesn't get all the messages, like, he can't. Anyway, so there's that part of it. Let me just check in with the chat and see what y'all are doing and where we are right now. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Cindy, thanks for being here. I got to get you. I have the screenshot. I will email you said screenshot soon, I promise. Yeah, I'm just going to talk. Thank you for the hugs. I need hugs, virtual and otherwise. Am I feeling better? I am today finally not feeling worse, Cindy, but I did go to the urgent care. I have bronchitis and they put me on all kinds of fun medicine, so I should be fit as a fiddle. No questions, just hugs. That's fair. I'll take that too. I said hello, hello, hello. Hello, Deanna. It's okay. You're always right on time. Oh, no, Cindy, I'm sorry to hear that. She buried her mother-in-law on Friday. Yeah, it's, they say it gets easier. I feel like that's kind of the same lie as saying that squats get easier, right? They just become your normal. So I don't know that it gets easier. Like, I feel like if it get easier for you, that's great. I'm happy for you. For me, it's the same, like, every day. But just like when he was alive, he's not on my thoughts every day as much as other days, right? But back then, I'd just message him if he was in my thoughts. Or I'd call him, or he liked to. But now we'll just talk about him for a few minutes and all the things that I loved about him. So, yeah, all emotions are normal, right? Happy, sad, fun. I mean, he was a funny guy. He was a real funny guy. We are alike in a lot of ways. We're different in a lot of ways too, of course, but we're alike in a lot of ways. So, some of my favorite things about him. Let's talk about some of my favorite things about him. One of my favorite things about him was that for all the time I lived at home, anytime I'd ever go back and stay the night, he'd take me to bed. Which may seem like a weird thing if you didn't have someone to do that for you, but every night. I would call for the horsey. Some of you may have heard this story before, because I know I've shared it before, but I'd call for the horsey. And when I was little, He'd come in the living room. He'd get on his hands and knees. I'd get on his back. And he'd act like a horse and take me down the stairs. I mean, down the hallway to my room and would take me to bed. And I mean, not every night. Let me not say every night. I mean, things happen, right? But most every night. Anytime I called for Horsey, he was there. And then it got to be this thing where I got a dog. Her name was Tippy. And at some point, I got too big to ride on his back. Well, at some point, I got to walk on the ceiling for a long time. But then I got too big to walk on the ceiling. Like he would just hold me upside down, and I got to walk upside down to bed every night. That was I remember that. Like I can remember being flipped upside down and walking to bed and just having that different perspective. Anyway, and then I rode on his back like a horse, and then once I got older, I would just walk in front and he would put his hand on my shoulder, and we would walk down the hallway, and then my dog Tippy would get so excited when I would call for Horsey, and she'd run. She'd run in the bedroom. She'd scope it out. So there are so many kids who are worried about like monsters in the closet or under the bed or whatever, but I mean, my Horsey took me to bed every night, so you didn't have to worry about none of that. He's also one of the reasons why I'm full of so much just random, basically useless information. Because I can't even tell you how many times he would tell me that it's really nice if you can make people think you're smart. He said, but the trick that smart people haven't figured out is learn a whole lot about just one thing. You want to learn just a little bit about everything so that no matter who you meet, you can carry a conversation with them. And they'll think, gosh, she's pretty smart. So it's a trick. I don't know a lot about anything. I just know a little bit about a whole bunch of nothing. So my dad was really smart though. He was one of the smartest guys I know. But then again, he probably just had me fooled. But it's one of the things that I did always really like about him was he was a real quiet guy. If you didn't know him, like he would be in a room and nobody would know that he's there. And I know a lot of y'all don't see me that way, but I'm kind of that way. I can be in a room and nobody really know that I'm there. But if you start to talk, then people start to listen, people start to laugh, and people find you, he was a good storyteller. He was a good joke teller. He could be his mom was smart. Yeah, his granny was smart. Now that's true. She was actual smart though. She knew a whole lot about a whole lot of things. She was really smart. I think she carried it for the family. My dad was one of 6. He had 2 brothers and 3 sisters. One of his sisters committed suicide several years ago, and the rest are still alive. They're a bunch of characters. I mean, the whole family is a bunch of characters. So, I mean, I got to talk about Granny and Papa just for a minute. His mom and dad. So, my dad grew up in Oklahoma. which is why I have the Texas drawl, but I talk kind of fast because my dad grew up in Oklahoma. He moved down here with his older brother, who married my mom's sister. And then he asked my mom out. They met, they married, they had me. So that's sort of their story, right? But they, I, I mean, I don't want to over exaggerate, but and so mom try to help keep me honest. But I feel like 5'2" at best. He was a little guy. Like he was a little guy, even little in stature, in frame. Like he was just a little guy, bald headed, had just the hair like around the sides, right? But bald on the top, and the prettiest blue eyes you ever seen in your life. And my granny had beautiful brown eyes, which my dad got. I want to say she was like, yeah, he was like 140 pounds. But Granny was like, was she 6 foot? I feel like she was 6 foot. Maybe she wasn't quite that tall, but I want to say she was 6 foot and probably 350 pounds for most of the time that I knew her. Yeah, almost 6 foot. Yeah. So, and I mean, she was easily 300 pounds. I'm going to say probably closer to the 350, like closer to where I was. Not that tall, though. I wasn't that tall. So she might have been a little bit more than that. I don't know. So that talk about the cutest little group, like that super tall lady, big, a little bitty tiny guy, love the crap out of each other and out of Jesus. Like that's they grew up poor because they gave everything to the church. They were God fearing and a little, sometimes maybe to some on the extreme side. But that's where he grew up in Oklahoma. And then he moved here, met my mom. And then they had me. And then 7 years later, well, almost 7 years, they had my brother. Then, of course, my mom and dad got divorced. My dad married Lou. I've spoken to her a little bit today as well. Um, but it seems like no matter where he went in any of those situations, in any of those circumstances, no matter what he was going through, he could talk to anybody about anything. It's one of those things. Maybe that's just the way that I remember it, but that's the way that I remember it, right? If you want to talk about things the way I remember it, my daddy was the only one that ever whooped me. Although my mom swears she beat me, not beat me, maybe. My mama says that she tried to punish me by whooping me, and it didn't work. So she would have my dad whoop, and by maybe I should clarify by whoop. uh, it would mean lightly touch me, and then we would both cry. Like, oh Lord, it was traumatic for us both. I felt like maybe we were both punished. Because I remember the handful of times that he whooped me. And my mom said I got whooped a whole bunch more than that. I'm sorry. It is unimpactful, Mama. At least you learned what was effective. And that was to have my daddy pat my butt. And then both of us cry. Which is funny now, but I promise at the time it hurt all of my feelings. Because I felt like I'd hurt his feelings, like I was making him do that to me. I mean, I guess technically I was because I was doing the wrong thing, but I remember the last whooping I got. The last whooping I got was for talking back to my mom. I smart talked my mom. And it wouldn't have been as bad except for that I ran. And that was the wrong thing to do. Don't run when you're trying to get whooped, because then I did get whooped harder. Like, I remember it because it hurt that time, like, physically hurt. I fell. It wasn't his fault. He was chasing me because I was running like a stupid person. I don't know. It's kinda hard to explain our house, but there was, like, a section where it just was a circle from the entryway to the hallway to the dining room, the kitchen, the living room. You could just, like, walk all the way around because we took the doors off of all the entries. It was funny to you. I'm glad it's funny to you because we were both miserable and crying. I don't actually even know if it worked. Did it help fix any of the issues? I don't actually remember. I only remember the why I got spanked twice. One was for back talking to you, and one was for one was for peeing my pants in kindergarten because I was too shy to tell the teacher I needed to go to the bathroom. I really am kind of shy, guys. I just have worked myself out of it. Like, I just talk anyway. And I talk to anybody and I talk to everybody, like my daddy did. But he was a carpenter. And so I remember going to all these different buildings with him that he would help build. I remember driving around Dallas and he'd be like, I helped build that building. I did this on the 27th floor of that building. I remember there was one building he didn't like. He'd call it out every time because some guy had died by falling through an elevator shaft. I was we were at the mall one day. He was doing wet seal, which this was actually I think it was when Aunt Sue died, Mama. I think it was that day he was robbed. He was robbed, yeah, because we had gone to my mom's sister died of ovarian cancer like 30 years ago. So wet seal 30 years ago is like a brand new thing, but it's like very industrial look. Like, I was always just in awe of the fact that he could build these things. But and my dad, I never saw my dad exercise a day in his life. I never saw him do a minute of cardio. I never saw him lift not a weight. But the man was one of the strongest guys I know because he was a sheetrocker for a long time working in the buildings. I don't know if you are aware how heavy and large a piece of sheetrock is, but he would just hold it up above his head and hammer, hammer it in. I remember just being impressed by that, just in and of itself, not realizing how much that sheetrock weighed. But he was just constantly using tools, lifting things up over his head, pushing them, hammering them, sawing them, like, all the time. He had a sleeper build. I think that's what you'd call it, where you wouldn't know he was real strong because he wasn't real big, muscular, but he was a strong guy physically. Uh, he liked to work on cars. And I remember when I was in school in Austin, I had taken my 1980 Ford Fairmont. Her name was Betty because she was blue like Betty Rubble Stress. And I was going to move to Austin permanently. That's a long story. So I took my car down there. I had been using my mom's car while I was in school. So this was in the summer. And on the way there, I'd blown a head gasket and ended up that I actually had a crack in the head. So he had driven down there and we spent like 24 hours replacing the head in the gasket in a 1980 Ford Fairmont. I mean, there aren't a lot of people whose dad could just like drive. Sure, it was a 3-hour drive, and then we went to a junkyard, and he got all the parts, and he knew exactly what to do, and he had all the tools. The man was not a mechanic. Like, that's not what he did. He taught me how to replace spark plugs. I know so much about cars just because I liked hanging out with him and doing stuff, and he would let me help. I don't know if I ever actually helped, but I can remember him trying to get me to hammer nails in. You got two shots, one to start the nail and the other one to put it into the board. I don't think I ever did get real good at that, but I did try. I did try a lot, actually. My brother and I both used to build different things with him, but he could just create stuff. That's a trait. I do not have that trait. I'm not crafty. No, I can follow instructions, but he could like make stuff out of his mind. I think that's so impressive. Uh, Hold on. I'm gonna uh, read comments. I see Gina has a comment here. October 11th was the 9th anniversary for your dad. You as an adult when you found out your funny ironworker dad was a lover of art, philosophy, and jazz, a true Renaissance man. Oh, your dad worked on the Sears Tower? That's cool. My dad would have thought that's cool too, I bet. Yeah, so other than just talking to him a bunch today, the other thing that I've been doing was the only thing that I asked of for that was my dad's was his records. Because, Gina, one of the things that I can remember growing up is whenever he was home, we were either watching a watching a Cowboys game, watching football, watching a movie, or listening to music. I don't watch football so much anymore just because it makes me angry, and I don't like to be angry. And I feel like part of being a Dallas Cowboy fan is hating them 75% of the time, and I just don't have the energy for that. Oh my God, Dallas and Texas, the Longhorns lost the other week. It's fine. We're not going to go back to that. It was a rough weekend that weekend. They both lost like that. Ugh, it's fine. Anyway, we both love movies. He would go to the movies before I would go to the movies because he would go on the Thursday that they came out, like to the first show, to the senior citizen show, and then he would use his school discount. So he'd pay like $1 to go to the movies. He would go to the movies. I'd go to the movies, and then we talk about the movie. Or he would send me random songs to get stuck in my head. Because outside of football and movies, their music was the thing that brought us together more often than not. He could whistle. I cannot whistle. I also can there's like I said, we're like a lot, but we're also different. I cannot whistle. But he could whistle. Him and my brother both can whistle real good. But look at me getting frustrated. I'm already getting mad at him. It's just so annoying. He's a very frustrating old man. It's one of those things that's frustrating, and it's the thing that I miss the most. He used to whistle or hum a song for the specific purpose of getting it stuck in my head. And to see how long it would take. Because it was a freaking game to him. He thought it was so fun. He thought that was fun until the day he died. He's not wrong. It's just, earworms. They're earworms. They're annoying by definition. They're an annoying, repetitive song you cannot get out of your head or sound or whatever. And when I say we have this weird connection, it's like he always knew exactly the wrong song to send me, which of course meant it was perfect. It was like are any of y'all are all my age, but I'm not sure if y'all know what it means to be rickrolled. Are y'all familiar with rickrolling? So if you're not familiar, just really quickly, to be rickrolled is back in, I don't know, 15 years ago? Has it even been that long? I don't know. Sense of time. I have no sense of time, guys. If y'all haven't learned that about me yet, I don't know when you're going to. And I'm not going to figure it out because I have no sense of time. But Rick Aston had this song. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. I cannot sing at all right now. I was legit actually trying to sing, and that part of my voice doesn't work. But anyway, so people would send people a link thinking they're going to like this fun website about, I don't know, Beanie Babies back in the day, right? But it would be this song. And then they said you got rickrolled. Yeah, never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you. I can't. Okay, so Camilla at least knows the song, but they used to call it rickrolling, where it's basically a setup, right? You think you're gonna go see something, or you're watching a video, and then like 3 seconds in, up pops this "Never Gonna Give You Up" clip from MTV music videos. Anyway, I said all that to explain that that's how I always felt like my dad did it. Like he would be talking about something, and then he would send a link. Because the man knows I never am going to learn that what he's talking about and what the link he's sending me is never going to be the same thing. That other thing is going to be something like skimmery dinky dinky doo. Like, what? Oh no. And then you can't get it out. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. What? You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. And then you just, like, you can't stop singing them. So now he still manages to do that. I don't care what you think. I'm certain it's him because there was a song that came on my Amazon today that I know because I checked is not on my daddy's playlist. But I don't think I ever got to that part. But I was saying what I did today outside of just talking to him a bunch was I listened to his playlist that I created where I took all of the albums, the physical albums that I have, the records that I have, and I downloaded them to my Amazon Music playlist. And then I just shuffle. It's called Daddy's Music is the playlist. So I shuffled Daddy's Music. I checked Daddy's Music playlist and it is not on there, but one of his favorite to send me, oh no, what? I can't even think of what the name of the song is. And now we know I can barely sing. And playing solitaire till 1 with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. And don't tell me I'm nothing to do. He used to love to send me that song. I can't think of the name of the song, but I hope y'all may not even know that song. It's a great song. It's really annoying. I think it's Flowers on the Wall. I think it's the name. Right? Is it anybody know? Is that the name of the song? Anyway, that song played today. As I was shuffling his playlist, that song's not on his playlist. Somehow, we weren't on his playlist anymore. At some point, Amazon had decided we weren't playing his playlist anymore. I guess I hadn't realized, or maybe that was the first song that played off of it. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, the Styler Brothers. But what's the name of the? Oh, I'm sorry, I should have said. I knew who it was. I've forgotten the name of the song. I think it's Flowers on the Wall. Counting flowers on the wall. I mean, yeah, it is the Statler Brothers. Anyway, it's a good song. Oh wait, hold on. I saw Cheryl saying "Oh Ricky," which is a fun play on that song for Rick. I love that. Oh wait, y'all said a whole bunch of stuff. Hold on, let me go back up. Let's see. It was a one-hit wonder. I think a lot of earworms are also one-hit wonder. You were rickrolled multiple times. Yay, okay, good. I'm glad somebody else knows that. Hey, Marcy's here. Marcy, you've been getting your workouts in, girl. I'm proud of you. Stay with that. That's really great. You've been doing all different kinds too. I saw you doing a different one today. I didn't recognize who it was you were doing today, but keep it up. That's great. I love that you do that on YouTube. Yeah, I know you're gonna be saying, "Hey, Mickey, you're so fun. You're so fun. You blah blah blah." Hey, Mickey. Oh, you used to have a hard time listening to Kenny Rogers? Was that one of your dad's go tos? I love listening to his music. It's one of my favorite things. Yeah, I think it may be Counting Flowers on the Wall is the name of it, but I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. I'm going to comment one day. I don't know when, though. I'm sorry, guys. I've been so sick. Oh, it is Flowers on the Wall. Okay, just Flowers on the Wall. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a weird song, actually, but it's a good one. Anyway, somehow Amazon got off my playlist and now, so I don't care what you say. That was, I call them God winks. When God just is like, did you see that? I did that for you. You're welcome. Or, dad winks. Same thing at this level for me. Like, they both just, I've talked to both of them. I talked to God, I talked to my daddy. People have all ways to pray, right? And people are often worried that they pray in the wrong way. And so I just talk. I don't know how you pray. You can pray how you pray. I just pray and be like, hey, it's me. Got some stuff I need to talk about. And then I try to also remember to have time to be quiet and listen. Oh, thanks, Cindy. I will. I will. I promise I will get you that screenshot. I'm sorry. Cindy's been asking. She's been so patient with me, guys. If y'all don't know Cindy, go check her out. I'm going to be doing a live stream with her after Thanksgiving. She's asked me for a headshot. First, I had to find it. I finally found it. And then I got real sick. I had a program launch. I wasn't even supposed to have to work today, but my boss asked me to just cover my new program, which I was going to do anyway. I can't let them. I can't. It's like day 4. I can't let them be on their own yet. I'm sorry. I value my own job and the people that I work with. I wouldn't set them up for that, but it's been rough recovering. And I don't know. I'm having that thing again where like I really want to take this hat off. I may just take it off. I don't know if it'll help though, but I can't regulate my body temperature. Like I'm so hot right now. I feel like I'm sweaty. And then in about 5 minutes, I'm going to be freezing to death. So yeah, there's time. I'll get it to you before November for sure. That's a promise. Anyway, let's see. I don't even know. Like I said, I just kind of randomly started talking, telling you things I liked about him. I liked that he was really smart, or I thought he was really smart. He knew a little bit about a lot of things. He knew a bit about a lot of things too. Uh, I learned from him the art of subtlety. Because sometimes I do tell a joke, and most often, if I tell a joke, I laugh at it because I told the joke. I thought it was funny. That's why I said it out loud because I thought it was funny. But my dad was one of those who he could be the straight man, right? Like, but not like the straight man because a straight man's not normally funny. The I'm thinking of like Tom and Dick Smothers, right? He was kind of like Dick Smothers, where he he can make fun of someone. And I know it sounds weird to say in a loving way, but I swear it was. I mean, he called me Pumpkinhead. He used to, "Is your face hurt? Well, it's killing me." I mean, when you look back at all the things, you're like, it's kind of rude, but it never felt that way ever. I always knew that he thought I was beautiful and special. And even though he would tell me I was a Pumpkinhead and you're not supposed to catch the ball with your face, you're supposed to catch it with your glove. All the all them good life lessons. Are we back? Was I talking too much smack, Daddy? Did you just be like, are we back? Oh, yeah, we're back. Was I talking too much smack? I had to pull myself up to figure out what was going on. I think I was talking too much smack. Oh, yeah, he said that was enough. He said that was enough. I know. I don't know what happened. Just everything. I don't even know what I was talking about, but I felt like I was talking smack about him a little bit. Whatever. He's the king of the smack talk. Where do y'all think I get it from? Where y'all think I got this attitude? A little bit of a punk, but we're cute. And we can talk to anybody about anything. We like movies. We like music. We like staying at home and not doing much else. But oh hey Nikki, you did make it. I don't know if you made it when I was gone there for a minute. I've been talking about my dad and all the things that I love about him, and then I think it started a little smack talk about all the things I said though, Daddy, that it was sweet and that I loved it because I did. I did. I really did. I didn't think about it till till later and be like, well, that sounds really rude. uh Talk about signs, right? I guess he was tired. He didn't think that's funny. He probably did think it was funny. He probably wanted us to have to talk about it more. Uh talk about his work ethic. Is that what you mean? He had the best work ethic. That's where my brother and I are workers. Not that you weren't a worker, Mom, but Dad is a worker. He was he was always a worker. My mom was there for everything. My dad wasn't. But I remember the stuff that he got to come to because he was a worker. When he got to go, it was cool. I don't know if that's what you were, why you said work, Mom, but my daddy was a good worker. He was a kind man with a funny spirit. He had an interesting take on life. And I like to think that I take after him. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff that he could do that amazed me. But I think for most daddy's little girls, that's kind of the point, right? Your daddy's amazing. So he still is. Um, I had this pulled up all ready to go before I got disconnected, but I want to share the video piece of video I did on Father's Day for him in, I guess, 2021, I think. Uh, Sorry, I got real quiet. There we go. You were chopped liver. I'm sorry. I do love you. I really do, but I mean, you're not my daddy. I don't know. I mean, I would tell him that too, but he's not my mama. It's just like when parents say it's not that they love one child more than the other, they love them differently. I love my daddy a whole hell of a lot. And I miss him. He's great. And he's super cute. So let's take a look. I'm going to, can y'all see this? Did I ask, can y'all see this? I think so, because I can see it. I hope y'all can hear it. I hope I've done that properly. I might not have. Let's see if y'all can. If you can't hear it, it's fine. You should at least be able to see the video. So this was from a Father's Day video that I did. But it's pictures of the two of us from when I was real little. And then a few from when I was a little bit older. So let's go. We were asleep. We weren't faking it, Mama. Hey, the stash is back, so that is one of my favorite pictures. I only got to find my mouse again. So, those are some pictures of my daddy. I mean, I could talk about him for hours because he was a fun guy. We had a lot of good times. I mean, he wasn't perfect. No, of course not. Nobody is. Every dad is just a guy who, you know, had a kid and then had to figure out how to help raise them. So he did the best that he could, and he was certainly a perfect choice for me. God did a good job with both my mama and my daddy. They couldn't have chosen any better. So you're not chopped liver, mama, but he was pretty awesome. I mean, you married him, so at some point. My mom loves my dad. I mean, I know that. They just some people aren't meant to be together forever, and that's okay too. And we're not together forever because he's gone. So you just talk to him anyway, and now he don't get to not listen. And he still gets to give you signs and get stupid songs stuck in your head. So I appreciate y'all being here with me tonight. Remembering some fun things about my dad. I know it's kind of all over the place, but that's partly because that's where my brain is and because I'm sick. Did I mention it? I don't feel good. I've been real sick. But I've been trying real hard. I've been eating enough. I've been making sure I prioritize protein, getting enough calories for the day. I do what I can during my workouts. Like I said, I was there for the whole hour, but I maybe only did about 20 minutes worth of movement. But anyway, you do what you can on any given day. Uh, as I've said a couple times, I know recently on Deanna's live stream, what is the why? My why is that my body is a temple and I deserve to have a happy home. And so that's what I work for every day. And that includes mentally having a healthy home. And one way I do that is by sharing. So I appreciate y'all being here to listen. I wish you all could have met him because you would have loved him. Maybe not as much as I did. I mean, I would wake up and man would be rubbing my feet because I was having a cramp in my leg from like sports and always lack of hydration. Misty's never liked water. I mean, who's else dad takes them to bed? Always with a horsey. Anyway. Thank y'all for being here. I'm going to end it there. Like this video if you like it. Dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe if you know how. And comment down below. Whatever you would like to say. We'll just not leave it there, but what's your favorite earworm? What song gets stuck in your head? Maybe one of them can get stuck in my head too. And until next time, I'll see you real soon. Y'all have a great week. And if I don't put out a video this week, which I hope to do, I'll see you next Monday. Good night, everybody.